This video is brought to you by Shop Controller. Shop Controller handles all aspects of running an auto shop from appointment to invoice.
Manage jobs with custom workflows, statuses, and categories. It can help you get paid faster and gain access to accurate labor times.
Hundreds of shops use Shop Controller. Check them out in the link below.
Today we have a nearly 100-year-old Ford truck and we're putting it up against
the newest Ford truck in the whole lineup.
And Case, what are we doing today?
Well, we're gonna do a couple different things. First things first, we're gonna do a tug of war. Then we're going to go into our off-road pit. We're going to see if your 100-year-old truck can do anything off-road. And then we're also gonna put some stuff in the bed and take these on the road to do a comprehensive comparison about how the truck has evolved over the last 100 years. Tell me, how come we have to go around the cross member underneath your truck?
Well, Case, to be honest with you, this 1931 Ford Model A truck doesn't have a tow hitch, so we have to get a little creative with hitching to the frame.
Yeah, funny enough, we actually found out that while it's not that difficult to find hitches for Model A's, apparently these truck models don't make it that easy to actually install them because of the way that the bed is mounted up.
Yeah.
So it'd be easier to put a hitch on this if it were a sedan.
Pretty wild. So let's hook it up to your truck, which is 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor, Ford's newest midsize truck, which is comparable to this Model A because they are both roughly quarter-ton trucks.
Yeah, and it's funny because the size difference is massive. We'll check that out in a second, but should we do the world's most pointless tug of war first?
Dude, you do not have any idea what Grandpa's hiding under the hood.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, Case. I've won with the Horde already.
Is that what winning sounds like?
Dude, what winning sounds like is having a bigger engine. I got a monster 3.3 liter under the hood versus your tiny 3 liter.
Well, and I'm sure you've also got twin turbos and 405 horsepower, right?
I've got twin headlights and
40 horsepower.
well, I'll tell you what, to make it fair.
Let's both put on the same settings. So I'm going locked front and rear differential, 4 low, off-road mode, stability control off, and I'd appreciate it if you did the same.
I can match it with the stability control off, so we're basically even here. Let me fire up this beast. Let me retard the spark, give it some throttle on the steering wheel. Oh yes, listen to that, Case. I bet you can't even hear me in here over the sound of power.
Well, I can't hear the sound of power over my well-insulated cabin. And I'll tell you what, too, another area in which these trucks are probably roundabout even is the tires. You know, I've got 33-inch KO3s, and what do you got?
Well, little known fact that in a tug of war, you'll want a tire barely wider than a bicycle. So these 4.5 inches.
This is going to be the key to my success, mark my words.
I think I saw they might be 4.75 inches wide, so that's serious business.
You, my friend, are screwed, so I'm going to go
Overdrive off, first gear on my 3-speed, little power crunch there, and then I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, tug. Are you ready?
I'll try not to pull you in half.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, tug.
Come on, Ray. Oh no! Oh no!
I didn't want to tug too hard, because I genuinely don't want to break it.
My one wheel peel was a real good effort, but yeah, I don't know what the point of that was. What a dumb test you came up with, Case. Or actually, I came up with. What a dumb test we came up with collectively. How stupid.
Yeah, pretty obvious result, but it makes for a good fun.
time to go off-road, and let's talk a little bit about this 31 Model A, because this was designed in an era when roads weren't as common or prevalent as they are today.
Yeah, roads were kind of a luxury, if anything. All joking aside, I do love this truck. I think this is such a cool vehicle.
Dude, it is fantastic. It's got this great look about it. It runs perfectly. It drives super well. And we're gonna see what it's like off-roading this 31 Model A. Now, these trucks were all two-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, truck is kind of a loose term because all Model A's, apart from the AA, which was like a heavy-duty delivery flatbed van truck,
Yeah.
all Model A's were basically made on the same platform. So what this truck is a quarter-ton truck that shares the same basic chassis with the sedan and the convertible and the roadster, on and on and on.
Even from the windshield forward, the bodywork is basically the same.
Right. And when we say quarter-ton truck, this is where that term came from, because it could haul about 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is a quarter ton, and the 1 ton could haul 1 ton. All right, we're going down our logs course. Let's see how this ride is. So
Oh man.
we've got this transverse mounted leaf spring in the rear. It is not good.
Yeah, I'm bracing myself against the dash. At least you got a steering wheel to hold on to. Now, obviously, a new truck is more refined and more capable than an older truck like this, but it is fun. We're not trying to see which truck is best. It is fun to see how much the truck has progressed in 100 years, and I think one of the areas where we're really going to see that difference is as soon as we get articulated in our trenches course here.
Well, let's see. We do have solid axles front and rear, so we might have better articulation than we think.
Oh man,
Oh, did you see that?
that was okay. We're definitely going to hit a point where that open diff in the rear is not going to do us any good.
That point is there.
Yeah, the creaking that the body makes when you articulate it like that too is something spectacular.
Well, part of what makes these trucks so versatile on rough roads is the fact that yes, the suspension does its thing, but so does the whole frame. So the whole thing kind of twists and bends, and that's just to make it, you know, handle better on rough road, which is pretty cool.
And there is some functionality in having a chassis that can flex a little bit, because modern cars are all so rigid, they're so stiff. And so any articulation that you're going to have really pretty much has to come out of suspension. But to your point, the entire vehicle, frame included, twists on this vehicle.
You can tell though that this truck was meant for dirt roads and for rough roads. Couple of things. These trucks are geared super low,
Yeah.
and they've got a ton of low-end torque. So it's a 3.3 liter four-cylinder,
Yeah.
so a huge bore, super long stroke. And that means you got all the torque in the world at 1,000 RPM, and first gear goes to maybe 12 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, it's not much, but it's enough to get this truck by, and you really can lug these motors in a big way because they're happy spinning almost no RPM at all.
And they also, worth noting, have a lot of ground clearance.
Yeah, it does. It has, at least visually looking at it, it seems like this truck has relatively similar ground clearance to the Raptor, at least up to the steps on the Raptor.
So even though the tires are smaller and it's only two-wheel drive and it has an open diff and we got stuck right away in the trenches course, it's not designed to be a rock crawler.
No.
It's meant to bomb down rough and rutted roads. And actually it does that super, super well.
It really does. I love how you have your seatbelts on and it's like, your seatbelts are on. Okay?
You ever tried to back up on this truck when you have your seatbelt off or your door open?
Yeah, it just slams on the brakes.
You might as well have just punched someone in the face and gone to prison. It hates when you try to move it with the door open, which is one thing about modern vehicles, right? There's a lot of electronics and controls that try to keep you safe, but sometimes they can be a hindrance to the driving experience.
Oh, absolutely can. But, and if it wasn't obvious, this video is not sponsored by Ford.
No.
Whatsoever, but I absolutely love this Ranger Raptor. It's so good. Of all the trucks that we've tested, and we get to test them all, this truck feels unbelievably sporty. This car this truck. It's almost car-like in the way that it handles and accelerates. It's fast, it corners pretty well, it's smooth over bumps, as we're about to see going down logs. We've got fancy Fox suspension, we've got a bunch of sidewall. This truck is epic, but yeah.
Turn off
then
the
you
parking
get some
sensors.
stuff like parking sensors, and then every time you come to a stop, and you can turn this off, but it does an auto hold feature, which I don't love. Takes some getting used to at least. So yeah, sometimes the tech can be a little in the way.
Look, the Model A truck, right, was designed to be basic transportation to bring stuff to market or to pick something up at the general store. This truck was designed to be everything. It's designed to be a truck, but also a rock crawler and a Baja runner and a bring the kids to school car and a church vehicle. I mean, it does everything. And that really is the big difference between these two. But the crazy thing is this truck is comfortable and fast and does 0 to 60 in 6 seconds and all that kind of thing. But then you can lock up the diffs and crawl up this trenches course like it's nothing.
Yeah, which I'm attempting to do. It takes a little bit of fussing. So I tried to kick the lockers on in Baja mode. It wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I had to go over to rock crawl and then go into neutral so that it could shift into 4 low. I've got my rear locker on already. Now I'll kick on the front. Your lockers you have to engage with the screen, which is not my favorite thing. I don't think it's your favorite thing either.
No.
I would kind of...
Let me fix this. Get that what you call it. I go for it.
I would prefer to have an actual hard button, if nothing else, just because it's satisfying to use a hard button to select your locker. But the technology on this truck, while sometimes it can be a little intrusive, it is amazing what it can do. And with front and rear lockers, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? We're articulating, we're lifting wheels, doesn't matter because we got that constant force from all 4 wheels pushing us forward.
I can do this as slow as humanly possible, and absolutely nothing is going to hinder our progress because we're sending power to all 4 wheels evenly as you do with lockers, and it's amazing. I love this truck. These KO3s are good too.
What's interesting too about 4-wheel drive in consumer trucks is they really didn't become super popular until the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So
Yeah.
yes, they did have 4-wheel drive vehicles in the 20s and the 30s, and then of course the 40s with stuff like the Jeeps and the Power Wagons and that kind of thing. But for them to really become commercially popular among the majority of truck buyers hasn't occurred until at least the 70s, more like the 80s.
But I'll tell you what, I would be more than happy, I would be beyond stoked to daily drive this truck because it's so good on-road, it's so good off-road, it's a reasonable size, even though it's, a mile longer and about a football field wider than the Model A. It's still just a great thing to drive.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And look, we are both old vehicle enthusiasts, but we get a lot of folks that say old trucks are just better. They're objectively not. Subjectively, subjectively, I think it's fair to say, yeah, they might be better. But objectively, if you look at performance, off-roadability, and I think we're going to find out maybe even haulability, in a lot of cases, the new stuff is better. All right, Case, let's see how this bed compares to the new truck. So, first of all, no latch, nothing like that. You just got these chains, then you rehook them back up in the lower position.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of what limits it from going any further down.
Now, total length of this bed is, well, we're looking at just over 4.5 feet, like 4 feet 8 inches.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting to see because it's funny in general we talk about older trucks being a lot more useful than some of these newer trucks, but this was really before bed sizes were becoming standardized. What's the width on this?
Well, tailgate down, we're at just under 6 feet. And then the width is the truly crazy part. They're so narrow. I mean, we're looking at 40 inches wide.
Yeah, which is funny. Oh, and it makes sense because this entire vehicle is really narrow.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. Now, look, when we did this comparison, we wanted to compare the quarter-ton truck of the day to the quarter-ton truck of the day, which is basically this versus Ranger, although a better comparison might be against a Maverick.
Yeah, because the payload on this, like you were saying, basically the amount of weight that we're supposed to be putting in here is around 500 pounds. What's impressive is that Raptor is rated, according to the sticker, for 1,382 pounds.
Pretty nuts. So let's go ahead and try and load it up. So we got some boxes here, we got a wheel.
Oh yeah, we got the kind of things that truck people have. We've got targets for target practice.
Yep. That's gonna slide back there.
some documents,
Yeah, of course.
and one Miata wheel.
Yeah, of course, because that's what truck people always carry. And I think you'll find tailgate goes up. That's pretty much full.
Yeah, we could definitely sneak some more stuff in there, especially because we've got these stake pockets, but more or less that's taken up a lot of the bed. This bed does have a little chest that's built into it, which obviously takes up a decent amount of space. But really, for the most part,
This is a tiny truck.
yeah, this is, it wouldn't want to haul much more than this practically.
It's a really small truck. Now let's see what this looks like in the new Ranger.
Yeah, well, pretty standard for these trucks.
So just over 5
5
feet.
foot bed.
Yeah.
With the tailgate.
Ooh, 7 feet 1 inch.
Yeah, so you could support something of decent length. And then width-wise, here's going to be a big difference from 40 inches all the way to 53 and
And a half.
quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, 53, almost 54. So yeah, I mean, look, the other thing which is different is that Model A is a teeny tiny single cab, where the Ranger is now only the full-on crew cab.
Yeah, and the size difference is huge. But because of the size difference, I will say though, this bed is up higher. So the lift over height, not quite as easy.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, you could easily double this load and you would still have room to spare. So
Yeah, we're taking up half the bed, if not a third.
yeah, that's crazy. And then of course, eventually, you know, the Ford trucks, especially the half tons, became the F-150, and then those standardized kind of the 8-foot bed. But back in the 30s, you either had this little tiny box that came on that Model A, or you pulled it off completely and built yourself a flatbed.
Yeah.
It was pretty common. All right, Case, so we got to merge into traffic, which means we got to go from 0 to 60, the speed limit on this road. So that, are you ready for a 0 to 60 in the Model A?
I got our timer.
All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, wow, good launch.
No synchros, we gotta double clutch it, which takes a hot sec.
Well, you're already slower than a Model S Plaid.
Why did it in second? In the third, little crunch in third. Come on. That's 35, fully advanced on the smart case.
That's also 20 seconds.
40 mile an hour, gotta roll up the window for some extra speed.
Yeah, aerodynamics.
44, 45,
30 seconds.
47.
Going for overdrive.
They got 50, we're gonna run out of revs, then we'll have to go to overdrive. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Oh, nice shift.
We're now impeding traffic on our 0 to 60 test. 51.
The road's turning up here. I don't think we're gonna
I
make
don't think
it.
we're gonna make it. 52.
And that's a minute.
All right, so 0 to 52 mile an hour in about a minute.
Which, well, you know what? They weren't built for speed. And
No.
I'll tell you what, compared to our 1915 Model T, this truck is downright fast.
She's a rocket ship case.
It's genuinely not bad. Honestly, this truck is quick enough to drive around on modern roads, so long as you're not taking it on the highway, which is not ideal. It's not possible, but it's not ideal.
Right. No, I mean, look at the thing about this truck is, even at 93 years old, anybody can pretty much just get in it and start driving it.
Yeah.
It's not a hard machine to operate.
No, it's not that complicated. It is obviously manual with no synchros, so it takes a little bit of familiarity. Yeah.
Like crunch first.
Yeah, look, the people out there that have been driving Model A's for a long time, they're able to go through the gears nice and smooth with no grinding, and so yeah, there's a bit of a learning curve, but it's not too bad.
And the best part about this truck case is new, a Model A was about $385.
Yeah.
And if I recall, the open top pickup was the cheapest Model A. In modern day money, that's the equivalent of like $7,500.
Yeah, by comparison, our Ranger Raptor, they start at $55,000.
Exactly right. And look, a loaded Model A, yeah, you're going to be $10,000, $15,000 equivalent back
today's money, yeah.
back in the day. But I mean, cars have gotten so much more expensive because there's so many more gizmos. It's truly amazing. So we'll do the same 0 to 60 run in the Ranger that we tried in the Model A and failed at. Same 60 mile an hour speed limit here. Let's see how much quicker this thing gets up to pace.
I can build some boost from a launch in this truck. Are you able to do that in the Model A?
Not so much. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah! We're in sport mode too. We are still running the AC 60.
All right, so that was about 7 seconds.
Yeah, at a mile above sea level. You know, this is not the best conditions for setting the fastest time ever. And like I said, still AC running. But this truck is genuinely pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, this truck on road is one of the most comfortable, refined vehicles you can buy, period. The Raptor Fox suspension just makes this thing float down the road. Super quiet, super well insulated, it's pretty quick. It's just a great on-road machine.
I know it's built to be an off-roader, but even on road, this suspension and this powertrain, everything about the way that this truck is designed works really well on pavement. And then you get it off pavement too, and it's such a blast.
Yeah, I know that folks, and I'm going to make everybody mad here, and I get that, and you can throw your bricks through my window now, but folks always comment on this channel that things were better in the olden days. And yes, from a cost standpoint, you are right. From a user repair standpoint,
Oh, 100%.
100% right. And is this truck going to be running in 93 years? Good chance, probably not, right?
Yeah, I will be very surprised if all these screens and all these buttons do exactly what they're supposed to in 93 years. That Model A, there's hardly anything on it really to go wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, you are exactly on the money, case. However, from a performance standpoint, from a hauling, towing, off-road, safety, speed, handling, stopping, the new truck is always going to be better.
Yeah, and it's so nice to drive. Look, both of us are huge classic car guys.
Yeah.
But some of the new vehicles we test, we also like, and this is just one of them.
Yeah,
this is a fantastic truck, and so is the Model A. The Model A is an epic vehicle.
Is it worth, new to new price adjusted for inflation? Near 10 times as much truck? Well, that's a question that you'll have to answer in the comments and battle it out.
Exactly.
But certainly it is a better truck in every measurable way, if not longevity and repairability.
Yeah, definitely not.
Well, folks, we'd love to hear your opinion. Be sure to drop us a comment below or head over to alltfl.com to find more videos.
And also check out our Patreon page. We post some stuff early there if you're interested. And that's all for this video.
Yeah, you gotcha, guys. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video with that Model A, we might go try to find a Maverick. That would be kind of a more apples to apples comparison when you look at the size standpoint. And we'll see you guys later.